Welcome to Master the Game. I am Juice, and today we are going to talk about experience and role-playing games. And not experience for leveling up. We're talking about player and DM experience. Does the amount of time you've been playing tabletop RPGs actually matter? So let's get started. If this is your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to help us out, all you got to do is watch the whole video to the end. That is the biggest thing you can do to help us. So with that, let's talk about experience as it pertains to the players around the table. Does it actually matter? I don't know about you guys, but I've been on message forums for years, and it seems like almost every other topic, somebody is mentioning how long they've been playing tabletop RPGs. Now, whether you're looking at my friend like Luke, who has been DMing since high school, or, some of the grognards who have said they've been gaming since the early 80s, things like that. It is always brought up how many years of experience someone has, especially in debates about role-playing games. And I find it completely fascinating. One, because I don't think it actually matters. Again, I've been playing tabletop RPGs since 1997. And I don't think it matters because my experiences the first 14 years are completely different than my experiences in recent years. I think who you play with and things like that help far more than the amount of games you run or play. There used to be this saying that practice makes perfect, but I once had a coach that told me perfect practice makes perfect. And if you take this analogy to role-playing games, I think that's far more suitable anyway. Now, I don't believe there's a perfect way to play or a single way to play. But I do think that when you're talking about experience, if you literally just get together with your friends and play a game for 20 years, and it's the same group and you guys know what you like, that's great. But are you really improving as you do that? You're improving for that group, but are you improving for other types of groups? I would say no. If that group is a hack and slash group, you might get really good at balancing encounters or creating the tone you want within those encounters, right? Whether you want it lethal or deadly, or you want it to be a cakewalk, but you want this one character to shine. Maybe you get really good at that, but you get really good at the role playing. I would argue that the type of play you do, things like that, are far more important to a lot of these debates, especially if you're talking about something like balancing encounters. Well, then yes, if that's the type of game you've been running for 20 years and you've gotten good at that, then experience might matter. But if somebody is talking about a problem player that they have at their table and you have never had that type of problem player at your table, are you really the best to help? You might be. You might have read something that's really helpful. You might have some really good experiences in other things that lend themselves to that. But how long you've been running D&D does not matter. How long you've been playing D&D doesn't matter. Now, with anything, experience does play a part in it. I'm not going to sit here and lie about that. But it is so funny to me when I hear people say, yeah, I've been running D&D since the 90s and, I'm really good at it or whatever. I don't feel like I'm very good at running D&D. A lot of my players have told me I'm good over the years, and maybe I'm just an insecure GM. I don't know. But I've never felt like I was great. I think I'm okay. I think I'm comfortable enough to just sit down and run a game and see where it goes. And I'm comfortable enough to try to roll with what my players are giving me. But I don't think that I am this amazing DM because I've been running the game for many more years than other people. I've met people who have only been running the game for a couple years, who've only been in the hobby for a couple years, and they're amazing. Amazing. And I've met people who have been running games since the 90s, and they suck. Like, at least for me. Because again, the big thing that goes along with this is play style. Does your style complement the group you play with? If your group's having fun, that's what's going to matter. This is the same argument I make in a lot of videos on this channel. If everybody's having fun around the table, that's all that matters. If you want to come together and have a group that just runs taverns and doesn't really go on a lot of adventures, but everyone's having fun, then you're doing it right. And that's what's great about this. If you want to do combat after combat and simulate all sorts of combat scenarios and your group's having fun with it, great, you're doing it right. But when it comes to these arguments, the biggest way to turn me off in them, especially online, is by mentioning how long you've been running games. Now, that doesn't mean like when Luke does his tagline that it's turn off. That's his tagline. It is what it is, that doesn't bother me. But I've always found it so funny when people try to say it to add validity to their arguments, because to me, it doesn't. To me, sharing the experience you have that's relatable is far more useful than the amount of experience you have in years as a DM or in systems as a DM. If you want to help support us financially, you can go over to our Patreon and sign up for just as little as $1 a month. Or you could also go to our store, which is also in the description, and you can purchase shirts, stickers, hooded sweatshirts, whatever your needs are, and hopefully you find something you like. With that, this was Master of the Game. I am Juice. Game on.